Hello everyone, Jason Alea back here again, and today we're going to be reviewing the season finale of Chucky Season 3. What a season this was! It's so weird that the main characters of the show I didn't care much about more than the side characters of the president and his family. That stuff was actually pretty good. And literally everything went down the drain with this final episode. So Tiffany escapes the prison while Jake, Devin, Lexi, and the president's son are trying to kill Chucky in the afterlife, trying to figure out where Caroline is. And Jake forgives his father for being a douche to him as a kid, and honestly that little segment where he reconciles a part of himself was actually really good and well handled, just wasn't earned. Because with Jake in this season, and this goes to Devin as well, they were nothing this whole season. All that they did was just talk about how much they are in love with each other. Nothing much out of that until the plot needs them to kill Chucky because, of course, they've been doing almost nothing. And as characters, really. And I just didn't care for them this season. Lexi and her on and off relationship with the president's son, I cared for quite a bit. I thought that was really well handled, and the president's stuff I thought was well handled. But once we got to this final episode, when we finally get to see Chucky and his former selves in the afterlife, and Jake is getting a tour with Chucky across the afterlife, it got weird. Then we see good Chucky, who is not really good Chucky, and now Chucky has taken over Jake's body, and then they go to the owner who created the good guy dolls, and then that's when we find out that Lexi's sister Caroline is a bad one, the antagonist now obviously, and is helping Chucky and the good guy doll. And now they turn Jake, Lexi, and Devin into dolls themselves, and Brad Dourif's daughter finds them. Then I don't know what they do with her. Maybe they turn into a doll as well. Chucky now marries Tiffany and turns her back into a doll once Tiffany escapes prison. Okay, my problem with this show in general now is that it's getting way too weird. It feels like it is going off the rails. It is trying to do crazier stuff now. Like some spiritual stuff, some afterlife stuff, some doll stuff that with the characters, like turning them into dolls, and I don't care anymore. I really don't. It just feels like with this season, apart from the stuff with the president, this show is just kills and kills, bloody kills that are worthy of Chucky. But in terms of the plot itself, it's running thin. And this final episode of season 3 cemented that for me. I honestly think that this should be the fourth season should be the last season. It should probably end it there. Let's find some way to conclude it before it gets way too out of hand. What, is Chucky gonna go into space? If they do that, that means they give up. With any movie that goes into space, at least most movies, it means they give up, because the crazier, the better, right? No. I understand wanting to do things different with your franchise so it feels fresh, but there's a difference between doing something fresh and unique and doing something that is a complete betrayal to what the series stands for and what's supposed to be. You could do something different, yeah, but I don't know. This episode just didn't do it for me. It just felt way too weird. I didn't care much about Devin and Jake as characters this time around. As main characters, they have worn out their welcome, and the script gave them like nothing to do this season. Really, they like barely any character development until the last episode. Literally, like everything revolving around the president and his family, I actually thought was really good. If they completely focused on that and not Lexi and her quest to find her sister, which in some ways I did care about, but when it has Jake and Devin also, it bogs it down. Whenever it doesn't focus on that, I felt like this show was alright. What it should have been was just take Devin and Jake out of the picture and have Lexi be like the focus, like the only returning character, and have her go to the president's house and she starts to form a relationship with the president's son, and we spend more time in the White House and Chucky infiltrating it and destroying the White House in and of itself. And I feel like if you could have done that, this season would have been more focused, would have been more tight, it would have been less crazy, and wouldn't focus a lot on the voodoo stuff. You could take that out of Chucky getting old. Like, it was a unique idea at first, but it got way too crazy. So if they like got rid of that and just have Chucky tear down the White House, and Lexi is trying to find Caroline, and by the end she finds out that Caroline is now bad, it would have been this emotional ending, and it could have worked like that. That's what the season to me should have been. It should have been focused like that. You don't need to have every character from the previous seasons or movies be here. Like, I don't know, man. This finale really disappointed me. Overall, I have to say that this season was alright, mainly due to the overall kills and portrayal of Chucky still being good enough. But as a story, it is definitely wearing out, like, real bad. So overall, I have to say this season of Chucky gets a C+. Thank you guys so much for watching. People like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys next time.